Oh gosh, those are major red flags. Run, girl, run, get out of there. Hi my lovelies, it's Rebecca Rogers. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day today. You know who's not having a great day? Some of these people who went on the worst date of their lives. I asked my Facebook and Instagram followers, hey guys, it was Valentine's Day this week. What are some of the worst first dates you've ever experienced that made you think, oh my gosh, we can't make this stuff up? And here are 15 of their answers. My friend was asked by her date very into the evening, mind you. Hey, you on your period? What? I just have this strange talent where I can smell when a girl's on her period. I'm gonna go. The most unnerving part was, yes, she was on her period and it made her so uncomfortable. I don't even know how I would respond. That just feels like a very strange thing to say. Usually on dates you go and you eat something or you get coffee or ice cream or something. Why would you say that while people are eating? I had a girl try to convince me to cut my long hair for our date. Our first date. She knew I had long hair when she agreed to go out with me. It's not like it was a blind date. She also brought her dog unannounced and insisted it go into the bar with us. She then only talked about money for the next hour or two and kept pestering me about how much I made. The second I caved in and told her my salary, the date was over. And Ms. Moneybags over there still let my apparent broke self still pay the tab.
Seriously?
That is so rude. I'll never understand the idea of canceling the date, like cutting it short because, oh, I'm sorry, you don't make enough money for me. Why can you not make enough money for yourself? That just, whole mentality, that bothers me. I totally understand that there are people who want to live certain lifestyles, they want to be able to afford certain things. Okay, make sure that you make enough money to where you can give yourself those things. I just don't understand why it's someone else's responsibility to do that for you. Like my husband, we always make this joke and we always laugh about it now. My husband married me when I was planning on being a school teacher for 30 years. He invested in me and was like, I'm gonna support you and I'm gonna take care of you and you're gonna be my person even though you're on a teacher's salary. Look at us now. He says I'm the best investment he ever made. But seriously, like he knew I wasn't gonna be making any money and he still chose to marry me. Like I don't like the whole, oh no, we can't date because you don't make any money. And even worse, cutting the date short because you find out they don't make as much money as you want them to make. Like that just feels so rude to me. Oh. My favorite one is I picked up this girl and before she even got in the car, she looks at me and asks, why do you have 2 garbage cans? Oh, no, one's a recycling can. Oh, you recycle? Of course I recycle. Who doesn't recycle? Yeah, we're not gonna get along. Okay, bye. She just walked away from my car and went back in her house. I'm sorry, is saving the planet not for you? Can anyone explain this to me down in the comments? What gives? Recycling should be a good thing. It's a sign that someone cares and is taking an extra step to help the planet. What? I matched with this girl on Tinder and we chatted a couple days on and off and eventually decided to go meet at a bar. She spent a lot of time on her phone and seemed extremely eager and anxious, looking at the front door, to the bar, to the people walking by us. A lot of them said hi to her, so this is clearly a regular spot for her. We got 1 drink in before whoever she was messaging apparently arrived and she excused herself for just a second. 10 minutes later, she still isn't back and this bartender comes over to me and asks if I was on a date with her. Yup. The bartender says,
yeah, that guy over there that she's with, that's her Coke dealer. Yeah, your beer's on me if you want to dip, cause she ain't coming back. And even if she is, you don't want to date her.
I think I'll pass.
Okay, all right.
yikes. How badly do you have to behave at a bar? Not only for the bartender to like remember your face and to know your bad news, but to then go to your date and be like, yeah, buddy,
You don't want any of that.
Wow. Are people just not ashamed anymore or something? Like, do people just not care if they make fools of themselves in public like that? Why? I didn't even end up going on this date, so I don't know if this counts, but he came to pick me up, gave me a hug, and when we got to his car, I said, I have to admit, I'm a little nervous. Oh yeah, I could tell. You could? Well, I mean, when I hugged you, I grabbed your butt, and you didn't even say anything. Oh, what did you want me to say? I mean, you could have flirted with me a little bit, you could have grabbed me back, I mean, you could have just said you were flattered, I mean, you just didn't say anything. Yeah, this isn't gonna work. I just got out of his car and went back inside. I was really disappointed too, because I was genuinely interested in him. Oh, that's so disappointing. When you meet someone, you're like, oh, I'm sure this is a good human and I'm excited and blah, 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 blah. And they're just grimy in person. Like, my guy, this is the first time you're meeting her. Keep your hands to yourself. And when you don't, and she's clearly not interested and not reciprocating, why didn't you get excited when I touched her? She clearly didn't want you to. Why is that so hard to understand? I don't understand why it's so mind-blowing to some guys that no, the girl that you just met and that you're taking out for the first time might not want your hands all over her. Why is that so shocking? I don't get it. I asked a college girl out to dinner to see a play, and she invited her mother along. It was very awkward. We didn't go back out. I don't know if she realized that was a date, because I can't imagine who invites their mom to a date. I don't think she thought it was a date. What do you guys think? Do you think that she is just weird? Or do you think that she just didn't know that what do you think? Let me know in the comments. I don't think she thought it was a date. I brought a girl back to my house for dinner and a movie. We previously made a bet where if she won, I'd make her dinner and bake a pie, and if she won, she had to make out with me. Either way, win-win, right? So we finished dinner and we go back to my bedroom to watch a movie, and midway through the movie, she says,
you know, I'm a bit hungry. I think I'm gonna go grab a little bite of leftovers.
She gets up, she goes to the kitchen, and I decide about 45 seconds later that my stomach is also rumbling, and that sounds like a great idea. I arrive in the kitchen to see her standing over my silverware drawer, emptying all of my silverware into her purse. I was shocked. I'd never had a date try to rob me before. I asked, what are you doing? Her reply,
oopsie.
I was already angry, but the girly giggle, I'm so innocent laugh just, it put me over the edge. I walked up, looked in her bag and saw she only managed to grab some of the crappier silverware so far, so at that point, I reached over the counter and grabbed the slice of pie she was gonna eat, looked in her eyes and said, don't forget your dessert. Then while holding her gaze, dropped the pie into her purse and smashed it up as best as I could with all sides of the purse to make sure it got in there nice and good. Kicked her out and never saw her again.
Swipe or no swiping.
She tried to steal this. I'm trying to understand where this girl robbed the audacity from. Honestly, I don't think that was an overreaction. Yeah, 100%. To me, that's the equivalent of one of those girls finding out that their guy's cheating and she throws a drink on him and the clothes is ruined. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I don't feel bad for that girl. Whoopsie. You're stealing. That's illegal. That's theft. What? It's not cute. Why do people do bad things? I don't understand. It just frustrates me. I was walking past a rickshaw one night and it had a dude and a lady in it, and the lady said, I always feel really bad for these guys, like I'm too heavy for them or something. Oh, don't even worry about it. These guys could carry a moose. Oof. I think he knew as soon as that left his mouth that he wasn't getting anywhere on that date. I would have stopped the rickshaw right then and there and just gotten out. No. I would have stopped the rickshaw right then and there and made him get out, and I would have had them take me to my car, and I would have promptly gone home. Wow, what a blunder to the soul. That poor woman. No reassurance, no, you're beautiful, you're perfect, none of that. Just don't worry, they can hold a moose. Who thinks that's a good idea? Who thinks that's the sweet and romantic reassurance that a woman is asking for? I convinced this girl who I was crazy about to go on a date with me, and I knew I had to make it count. We lived out by the ocean, and she dropped a hint that she'd never been out on the pier at our local beach before, so challenge accepted. I nervously drove her down to the beach, and we proceeded to slowly walk out of the pier together, though she seemed very hesitant from the beginning. We stopped short at the end, and I leaned against the railing over the water, and she just stood back and didn't want to come stand next to me. She didn't really seem into it at all. Awkwardly, I said, "It's a great view, huh?" No real response. Yikes. Just as I was waiting for her to say something, 2 pigeons flew up and landed at our feet. I thought, sweet, chicks dig birds. To my horror, these birds began to make passionate pigeon love right in front of us while neither of us spoke and just stood there awkwardly. I had never witnessed such violent passion from birds before. I quickly scanned around, saw a couple holding roses on the other side of the pier, and I thought, awesome, they look romantic. Chicks dig romance. We quickly walked away from the busy couple over there and stood next to the happy couple instead. The man and woman were holding each other and holding roses, but something seemed off. I glanced up and noticed they were both sobbing. The girl I was with noticed too, and as we were both looking, the couple took their roses and cast them into the sea. I had posted us next to a dang funeral, some kind of sea burial. Between animal lovemaking and death, I had just executed one of the worst dates of all time. And just as I had accepted my failure, my date started to get fidgety. Based on her body language and the expressions on her face throughout the whole date, it dawned on me she hadn't told me about the pier as a hint that she wanted to go, but as a hint that she was terrified of it and did not want to go. Turns out she had a fear of both heights and the ocean. That pier will forever be the most monumental, worst date I've ever took a woman on. Oh no. You know what though? He tried hard, okay? He really thought. It wasn't like he took her to where he wanted to go, or he really thought in his brain that this was when he couldn't control the birds, and it's not his fault that there was other things going on at the time. He really tried hard. But he didn't get the girl at the end. You know, that happens sometimes. Sometimes you read things wrong and it doesn't work out. And I think that's a great lesson, okay? I think this is a really good lesson for not just men, but people all over. Sometimes you can really like a person and you can try hard and do the things that you think are the right things, and the other person doesn't receive them that way. Just because you're putting forth an effort that you think is really extra and super special and whatever, doesn't mean that the other person is receiving it that way, and it doesn't mean that they're going to like you back, and it happens. This guy misread the situation and had a not great first date, and even though he really liked her and he thought that he was doing all these special things for her, it turns out she didn't want to go to the beach. She was terrified of the beach, so she had a terrible time. You don't always get the girl or the guy just because you try hard, and it stinks, and you know, my heart goes out to you, but it's a part of life, and I think that's a great lesson that everyone should just know. Just because you try hard doesn't mean they're gonna like you back. That doesn't mean you shouldn't put effort towards the next person you like. It just means that you weren't meant to be with that first person, and that's all it is. It's not that serious. On my first date with this girl, I excused myself to the bathroom. She got up and followed me, making a lot of flirtatious remarks along the way. I thought nothing of it, assuming that she needed to use the restroom too and was just making small talk. I walked inside the men's room and she walked straight in with me. I actually do need to use the restroom. Oh, that's fine. I mean, I can just watch you if you want. No, just no, get out. Wow, you're really boring. I wasn't able to pee in public places for a while after that. I know that a lot of people are gonna think that's silly or funny or whatever, but you have to admit, you cannot lie, that if it was reversed, if it was a guy that followed the woman into the bathroom and just like was hovering over her, she would be freaked out and people would be outraged. Outraged that he just followed her. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be here with you, blah, 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 watch you. Like people would be so upset and so weirded out, and that wouldn't be okay. So let's hold the same energy, okay? Just because it happened to a guy instead of a girl doesn't mean it's not a big deal, and it doesn't mean it's not inappropriate. This guy I went on a date with insisted on paying for everything. I offered to take the bill, I offered to pay my half. Nope, he wasn't having any of it. Okay, fine. Pay the bill if it makes you happy, sure. At the end of the date, he raged at me because I didn't want to spend the night with him, saying,
All you women are the same. You want us to pay for everything, but never give anything in return.
Yeah, never called him again. Something else I will never understand, and it's so unacceptable, is when people insist, I don't care what gender, whatever, when people insist, I'm gonna pay for this date, I'm gonna spoil you, blah, 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 but
how dare you not give me access to your body afterwards? I paid for the date.
Sir, this isn't an escort service. It is illegal in most states, actually, to pay for that sort of thing. So why are you assuming when someone else is offering to pay, even pay the full thing or half, why are you expecting, oh, well, if I pay for dinner, I'm gonna get some? That's not how that works. Why don't you try being a decent human? Asking them about their day, showing you care about them as a person. And if you don't go on a date with them. And I'm gonna tell you something else. Even if you do all of those things and are very nice, they still might not want to spend the night with you. And that is okay, because they're not obligated to. You don't have a right to somebody else's body. I know that no one's told you that before, so let me be the first to say, spending money on someone, spending time on someone, even giving someone compliments does not make you entitled to somebody else's body, much less their body, their time. Just because you pay for a date doesn't mean they have to go on a second one with you. You're not entitled to this person. I know for some of you this might be news, so I'm gonna let you take a second with your thoughts, mull it over, and just accept that that is a fact. So I met this girl on the internet and she seemed really nice and down to earth. We had a lot in common, including our hobbies and politics and stuff like that, so I was thinking we might really hit it off. We agreed to meet up in person at this coffee bar. Now bear in mind, I'm not super attractive, and up to this point, she hasn't seen any photos of me, so instead, we had pre-arranged recognition signals, and I just assumed that our personal connection that we made was enough. She walks in the door and I spot her by her clothing instantly and start waving at her. She gets this sort of uncertain look on her face and walks over and says, Sam? I say, yeah, it's me. And she just looks at me and says, haha, no. And just walked out the door. Guess it wasn't enough.
And I was like, excuse me?
That's just mean. Yes, I do think it's important to be attracted to the person that you're dating, but you can't tell me that that wasn't mean. Sam, you dodged a bullet, okay? You don't want to date a mean girl. I had this blind date set up and I was running a little bit late, but anyways, I got there and the girl I was supposed to meet, according to what she was wearing and how she was looking, was having dinner with another guy. So I went up to her to ask what was going on. Hi, I'm so sorry. Are you Sarah? Yes, I am Sarah. I'm supposed to be meeting a Sarah here for our blind date and you're wearing what she said she was gonna wear. I'm supposed to be meeting Jake. Yeah, me, I'm Jake. I'm sorry, what's going on? Oh yeah, that's my bad, guys. You see, Sarah came in and she asked if I was Jake and I thought she was really cute, so I just said, yeah, cause why not? You know, I saw an opportunity and I just decided to seize it. Dude, what the heck? So what now? But you know, we've had a good time. Call me if you're interested, if it doesn't work out with this guy, and I'll let y'all get back to your date. It was one of the most awkward experiences I've ever had. Oh, what would you even do? Like, how do you move forward from that, right? Because I'm just thinking, if I was the girl in that situation, what if I really liked the guy that I was with like, what if I really enjoyed talking to him and spending time with him, and like, how would you go about that? I mean, obviously, if you were getting weird vibes or you weren't super into him, then great. Oh, thank God, that wasn't really him. But what would you do? I guess that situation would really all be about perception. My worst first date ever? Let me tell ya. I get there and she's already eating appetizers. Now, mind you, I'm 10 minutes early. And she's already got like 4 of them in front of her. She then orders the most expensive dinner on the menu and specifically tells me that she did it because she knows I'm paying for the date. I tried to small talk with her for 45 minutes and she doesn't want to talk to me. She just ignores me and is constantly complaining how no one wants to fill her wine glass that is emptied every 2 minutes. The only time she actually wants to talk to me is when she mentions that she's heard from multiple people that I make a decent salary. I try to be civil and change the subject and really get to know her, but it's just awkward conversation after awkward topics. Nothing even close to first date etiquette follows. About 3/4 of the way, I go to the bathroom and our waiter walks by and asks me if we're doing a reality show or something along those lines. It was that bad. We talk about how wild this woman is for about 5 minutes, and then I ask him to stop at our table and ask about the bill. As soon as he does, I immediately say, split checks and give him $80, roughly 40 for my bill and 40 for his tip for being such a good guy. My date looked shocked and ended up not being able to pay her bill, so the friend who hooked us up got a nice call. They ended up paying the rest of her total, and that ended up being about $75.
Pay up, girl.
That is such gross behavior. I know that a lot of people believe that guys pay on the first date, and whoever pays on your date, like that's really up to you, whether it's the guy or someone else, or you split it, or one person takes it in full, like that's your business and how you guys choose to do your date. What I do think is gross is when someone offers to pay the bill and then the other person, knowing it's not their money, just orders so many excessive things, whether it being all of those appetizers or 4 glasses of wine, the most expensive thing on the menu. And what makes it worse is when they say, because it's not my money, I know you're paying for the date. That's not cute. I would be livid if a girl did that to my brother. I would be so mad. It's not cute to take advantage of someone who's trying to do something nice for you. Why is it so hard for some people to just be decent and appreciative? And back to what we said earlier, just because someone pays for dinner and pays for the date doesn't mean the other person owes them anything after. But also, just because someone is paying for the date doesn't mean you get the most expensive things possible just because it's not your money. That's rude. I don't understand why so many of these stories are just people trying to take advantage of somebody or steal from them or expect favors afterwards from them. Like, that's sometimes people just really disappoint me. I had a Bumble coffee date with a guy who showed up straight from the gym, sweaty and smelly and all of it. He nonstop talked about his bouncer stories where he acted out yelling and swearing and hand gestures of how he would
Beat people up.
Then he topped it off with telling me about how he hates drunk hysterical girls and wished he could punch their teeth in. Needless to say, I excused myself early, and when he messaged me the next day, "Where'd you go? I hope I didn't scare you off," I blocked him. As you should. Whether it was a joke or not, I know there's gonna be people like, oh, he was joking. Who jokes about those girls are so annoying? I wish that I could punch them in the face. Is that supposed to be funny? Like, they're not doing anything to you? Like, sure, I'm sure they're loud and annoying and obnoxious. Like the girls that he's referring to, I'm sure, okay? I was in college, I know. But like, I chose this job to be around these kinds of people, and all those women, I wish I could just punch them in the face. Did you think that would be endearing? And then he's proud of beating up other people who get thrown out. Which, like, mind you, I'm sure a lot of those people that he's referring to were creepy guys, maybe even predators. Like, I don't have sympathy for predators. But when you put it all together of, oh yeah, I get to beat up guys in my job, and oh, I wish I could punch those girls in the face, it's not a good look. Yes, you did scare her off. You would have scared me off also. No, thank you. I can't figure out where you were trying to go with that, my guy. Like, in a world where domestic violence is a huge problem, why would you sit there on a first date talking about how badly you want to punch women? Where's the logic in that? Those were 15 examples of red flags across the board. Oh my gosh. I know there's more out there, okay? If you have a crazy first date story, I want to see it in the comments. I want to see it. We want to laugh. We want to appreciate how you got out of that situation, okay? And as always, if you have another topic that you want to see us talk about on this series, let us know in the comments. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm trying to kind of finagle details in the background. You've been asking about podcast things. We've been determining name changes. It's working, it's in the works. I don't have definitive answers for you yet, but I do want you to know things are going on in the background. We're working on it. I'm not ignoring you, things are just, it takes some time. I know Valentine's Day is over, but my well wishes for you at the end of this video is I hope that you still feel so loved every day, especially today, whether it's by your significant other, your family, your friend, me. I love all you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you guys next week. Bye, my lovelies. Mwah.